The idea that it is never too late to start learning English is one of the most powerful motivations for learners of all ages. Many people hesitate to begin because they believe that language learning is only for children or young students, but this is far from true. Human beings are capable of learning throughout their entire lives, and the brain continues to grow, adapt, and form new connections at any age. Adults may learn differently than children, but they often learn more efficiently because they have discipline, life experience, and a clear understanding of why they want to improve. The belief that someone is too old or that their chance has passed is simply a limiting thought, not a fact. Learning English later in life can even be advantageous. Adults bring motivation, purpose, and emotional maturity to the process. They understand the value of the language in their personal and professional lives, which makes their learning journey more meaningful. For example, someone who begins learning English at 30, 50, or even 70 may do so because they want to communicate better while traveling, talk with family members abroad, enjoy English movies and books, or even advance in their careers. These strong motivations give adult learners a powerful reason to keep going and to overcome difficulties. Unlike children, who may learn because they are told to, adults learn because they truly want to. Another important aspect is that English learning resources today are more accessible than ever before. Technology, language apps, online classes, videos, and global communities all make it possible for anyone at any point in life to start learning. You no longer need a classroom, a teacher, or expensive materials. Even 10 minutes a day of simple practice can create progress. Many people have achieved fluency even after starting late because they had the courage to take the first step and the determination to continue. What truly matters is the mindset. Learning English is a journey, not a race. Starting late does not mean finishing slow. It simply means beginning at the right moment for you. Every learner's path is different, and the only time it becomes too late is when someone decides to give up entirely. Once a person understands that age is not a barrier, but a personal story they can rewrite, they can approach English learning with confidence, patience, and hope. Asterisk every word you learn in English acts like a small step forward on a long but rewarding journey. Many learners underestimate the power of individual words, thinking they aren't making progress unless they can speak fluently or understand everything they hear. However, every single new word represents growth. It is proof that your brain is expanding its ability to communicate, connect, and express ideas in another language. Even learning just a few words each day builds a stronger foundation because language is made of countless small pieces that slowly come together. Over time, these words combine to form sentences, ideas, and eventually confidence. Each new word also opens new opportunities because language gives access to information, interactions, and experiences. When you learn a word related to travel, you become better prepared for conversations on your next trip. When you learn a word related to your job, you expand your professional abilities. When you learn a word from a movie, song, or book, you start to understand deeper meanings and emotions. Words are not only vocabulary. They are tools that connect you to the world. With every new word, you unlock something you couldn't understand before, and that creates a sense of progress that encourages you to keep learning more. Furthermore, learning individual words builds confidence. When you remember a word during a conversation or recognize it in something you're reading, it feels like a personal victory. These small successes are important because they motivate you to continue. Even when the journey becomes challenging, confidence does not arrive all at once. It grows from repeated experiences of understanding, recalling, and using what you have learned. Each word becomes a reminder that you are capable of learning and improving, no matter your starting point. Another powerful effect of learning new words is how they slowly change the way you think. As your vocabulary expands, your ability to understand and express complex ideas grows as well. You begin to notice patterns, make connections, and comprehend meanings without having to translate everything in your head. This transformation happens gradually, word by word, and often without you noticing it. But eventually you realize that the language that once felt confusing now feels familiar, simply because you took the time to learn one word at a time. Asterisk mistakes are an essential and natural part of learning English, yet many learners fear them, so much that they hesitate to speak, write, or even practice. This fear often comes from the idea that mistakes show weakness or lack of ability, but in reality, mistakes are clear signs of progress. They reveal that you are actively using the language rather than just studying it passively. When you make a mistake, your brain receives feedback, learns from the experience, and strengthens its understanding. Without mistakes, there is no growth, because learning requires stepping outside your comfort zone and trying even when you are unsure. Every mistake you make teaches you something valuable. For example, when you use the wrong verb tense or mispronounce a word, you become more aware of what needs to be improved. This awareness helps you focus your learning efforts and guides you toward better accuracy. Over time, these small corrections build a stronger foundation in your understanding of grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. In fact, many of the world's most fluent English speakers learn through repeated mistakes. It is a cycle of trying, failing, adjusting, and trying again. And this cycle is what leads to long-term fluency. Mistakes also help build confidence because they show you that you are capable of continuing, even when things do not go perfectly. Confidence does not come from speaking perfectly. It comes from speaking despite imperfections. When you practice English and notice improvement, even slight improvement, your self-belief grows. Those who never make mistakes are usually those who never try, and as a result, they stay stuck. But learners who allow themselves to make errors learn faster, communicate more freely, and become more comfortable using English in real situations. Another important aspect is that mistakes make learning more personal and meaningful. Each error tells a story about your progress, your struggles, and your determination. They show where you started and how far you have come. When you look back and realize that mistakes you once made no longer happen, you experience a sense of accomplishment. This feeling motivates you to keep going, proving that mistakes are not obstacles, but stepping stones that push you forward. Learning English opens doors to a world that is much larger than the one you experience. Through your native language alone, English is widely used in travel, education, and entertainment, and global communication, making it a powerful tool for connecting with people from different cultures and backgrounds. When you understand English, you instantly gain access to conversations with millions of speakers around the world, whether they are native speakers or learners just like you. This ability to communicate beyond borders allows you to share your ideas, learn from others, and build relationships that you might never have formed otherwise. Travel becomes more enjoyable and less stressful when you know English. In airports, hotels, restaurants, and tourist destinations, English is often the common language used when people do not share the same native language. Even knowing basic English can help you ask for directions, read signs, understand safety instructions, and interact confidently in unfamiliar places. This sense of independence makes travel more enriching because you can explore freely, connect with locals or other travelers, and create meaningful memories without feeling lost or limited by language barriers. In addition to travel, English opens doors to knowledge. A huge amount of information on the internet, in books, research papers, online courses, and documentaries is available primarily in English. When you can read or listen in English, you gain access to ideas, discoveries, and learning materials that may not be available in your native language. This gives you the opportunity to grow personally, academically, and professionally. Whether you want to study abroad, take online classes, or simply enjoy English movies and music in their original form, knowing the language helps you experience the world more deeply. English also creates opportunities in the workplace. Many companies prefer or require employees who can communicate in English because it is the international language of business. Being able to speak English can open new career paths, promotions, or chances to work in multinational environments. Even if you never leave your country, English can connect you to global markets, international clients, and new possibilities that would otherwise be out of reach. Ultimately, learning English expands your world by giving you the confidence, freedom, and ability to participate fully in our global society. Asterisk giving up is the only real failure when learning English because progress is built on persistence, not perfection. Many learners become discouraged when they struggle with grammar, forget vocabulary, or feel embarrassed while speaking. However, these challenges are not signs that you should stop. They are normal stages of the learning journey. No one becomes fluent overnight, and even native speakers make mistakes. What matters most is continuing to try, even when the process feels slow or difficult. Each attempt, no matter how small, pushes you closer to your goal, and the only way to truly fail is to stop trying altogether. Persistence keeps your momentum alive and gradually transforms effort into ability. Language learning is like building a bridge. You add one piece at a time, and eventually the structure becomes strong enough to support you. Some days you learn quickly. On other days you may feel stuck. But even slow progress is still progress. When you refuse to give up, you give yourself the chance to grow, improve, and eventually reach fluency. Many successful English learners were not the fastest or the most talented. They were simply consistent. They kept going when others quit, and that determination made the difference. Overcoming challenges builds confidence and resilience. When you decide not to give up, you learn how to handle frustration, confusion, and mistakes with patience instead of fear. This mindset becomes one of your greatest strengths, not only in learning English, but also in life. Every time you push through a difficult lesson or continue practicing even when you feel tired, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you once believed. This inner strength helps you stay motivated and reminds you that challenges are temporary, but the benefits of learning English last a lifetime. Another important aspect of persistence is that it allows you to rediscover your purpose again and again. When progress feels slow, thinking about why you started can renew your motivation. Maybe you want better career opportunities, the ability to travel confidently, or the chance to communicate with people from around the world. Holding on to these reasons helps you stay focused and determined. When you remember your goals, you realize that giving up would mean losing something valuable, while continuing ensures that your efforts will eventually lead to success. Asterisk confidence in learning English is something that grows slowly and naturally through repeated effort, not something that appears instantly. Many learners begin their journey feeling unsure, shy, or afraid of speaking because they worry about being judged or making mistakes. This lack of confidence is completely normal, especially when dealing with a new language. However, every moment spent practicing, whether reading a short paragraph, learning new vocabulary, or listening to a simple conversation, adds a small but powerful layer to your self-belief. Confidence is built through these small steps, and each step reminds you that improvement is possible as long as you keep moving forward. The more you practice, the more familiar the language becomes. Words that once felt difficult start to feel natural, and simple sentences slowly turn into full conversations. This steady progress strengthens your confidence because it proves that your effort is working. Even when you learn something small, it still contributes to your overall growth. These little victories show you that you are capable of understanding, remembering, and using English in real situations. Over time, these repeated successes make you feel braver and more comfortable expressing yourself, even when you're not perfect. Determination is a key part of building confidence because there will be days when progress feels slow or when you doubt your ability to improve. It is during these moments that determination pushes you to continue. Being determined doesn't mean you never struggle. It means you refuse to stop even when the journey becomes challenging. This attitude helps you develop inner strength and resilience. When you stay determined, you gain the power to overcome difficulties. Whether they are pronunciation problems, grammar mistakes, or moments of embarrassment. Every time you keep going despite challenges, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your doubts. Real-life practice also plays a huge role in boosting confidence. When you use English to talk to others, watch movies, participate in classes, or read books, you experience firsthand how much you have improved. You begin to understand that communication is not about speaking perfectly. It is about expressing your ideas and connecting with people. The more you use English, the more naturally it flows. And the fear that once stopped you becomes weaker. Your confidence grows every time you choose to keep learning, so continue your journey with courage. Because your English is becoming stronger, brighter, and more beautiful with every step you take.